This is our cabin tent, and it is my wife's favorite tent. She doesn't like camping very much, so when we camp, this is the one that she wants to take. Now we have 7 kids, so we don't fit in one tent anymore. But when we did, this is the one that she'd prefer, and let me tell you why. It's got this awning right here, which is really nice. You can set a bunch of camping chairs around in here, and there's an enclosure that you can purchase separately, and it is really nice and has saved us. It attaches with this heavy-duty Velcro right here, and then encloses this whole awning, so it makes it another room. Our teenagers they like to sleep in their own tent, but sometimes they'll sleep out in here. We'll put the wall enclosure on, put a tarp on the ground, and then they'll sleep right here with plenty of room. And then they're not too far away from us. Sometimes people that have pets, you have a dog or a couple dogs, and you're worried about them going potty inside the tent. When you put the wall enclosure up, the ground can still be exposed unless you put a ground tarp on, and kind of minimizes that problem. So you get rained on. The very first time we took it out, we actually got rained on, and we had a card table, a couple camp chairs, and just waited out the storm. It was actually kind of a fun experience. It wasn't too bad of a storm, but once it was over, none of us were wet. We weren't crammed inside the tent trying to play games in there. There was plenty of room for us. So this right here, if you come inside, you can see this is why my wife really likes this, is it's 7.5 feet tall. So I'm 5'10". This thing feels more like a room. If you're claustrophobic, this is a really good tent to have, okay? There's a window right here. There's a door right here. And this door, so if you have the wall enclosure out here, it has 6 large screened windows. So sometimes people will just take this door and they'll leave it open. Of course, without it, you might get a bunch of bugs. But if you have the enclosure, you can just leave this open, and it makes it one gigantic camping living area. So let me show you inside here again. It's 7.5 feet tall, so it's quite roomy. The front and the back walls are completely vertical, and that's one of the things that makes it feel more like a room and not a tent. And even these side walls, they don't slope too terribly much. They're not. They don't feel like they're closing in on you. Okay. These ones have nice zippers. They're not going to jam on you. There's windows on every side, so no matter what way the wind is blowing, you can get a breeze. And check out this giant window. It's just huge. If you're doing some summer camping in a hot area, it's nice. And most tents get hot in the daytime anyway, so even if you're freezing cold at night, at some point in the daytime, it's nice to get yourself some ventilation. All the Kodiak tents have this special no-seam mesh, is what it's called. And it's hard to explain, and it's hard to show through a camera, but the threads are woven so thin but so tight that it's very pleasant to look at. So I can sit here and look out at whatever's out there, and my eyes don't catch the little, like on your patio, on your back screen, you might look out there and you might notice all the squares in your screen. It's different with this no-seam mesh. In fact, one of the nice things is it's woven so tightly that if it's raining lightly, it'll actually won't even come inside the tent. It'll just bead up and stay on the outside. If it's raining heavy, of course, you're going to start to get water inside the tent, but that's okay. You just zip this up tight, and it's going to keep you dry. So this is a 6-person tent. This sleeping bag right here is a queen-size sleeping bag, so it's extra large. You can see that you really can fit 6 people in here quite comfortably. Again, it does differ a little bit if you're using an extra large cot or something like that. You might be able to fit 5 or 4 it just depends on your gear and what your needs are. If you're a hunter and you have lots of gear, if you're bringing pets and hunting dogs or whatever, then obviously things will be a little bit different for you. It's got these gear pockets sewn underneath these two windows here. These aren't doors, but this is. This large screen actually functions as a door. So you can fit large equipment through this very conveniently. If you've got a blow-up mattress that you're going to blow up at the car because you need the cigarette lighter or whatever to power the pump that pumps it up, you can open this up, fit it in, set it down. This awning up here actually closes, and that is the closure for the window. So when you want to close this window, you simply let down these two. Well, let me show you. Stay right there and I'll show you from the outside. So I'm going to zip this closed. And then suppose a storm, a microburst just hits. It's actually quite fast. You just drop both of these poles. And then I'm going to zip this up from the exterior. You can zip it up from the interior. It's just easier from the exterior. And then it velcros here on the bottom. So it's watertight. You don't have to worry about getting any water in there. So there's many reasons people like this one over the Flexbow. Most people get the Flexbow. Most people who see this one next to a Flexbow get this one. But most people who have never seen this one, they just go with the Flexbow that I'm about to show you next. So just to recap on this, 7.5 feet tall, super roomy. My recommendation, if you're in the market to purchase a Kodiak tent, if you're the type of person that goes out for a week at a time, this is the tent you want. If you're a weekend warrior, you go out for one night, maybe 2 nights, I would get the Flexbow. This one takes probably 20 minutes to put up. It takes another 10 minutes to put up for the awning. The awning, though, has its own poles, which makes it very strong. So it's not like it's just the 2 spikes that are holding it up. You've got poles going along the ridges and then these here. So my recommendation, if you want a 5-minute setup, you're going to want to go with the Flexbow style that I'm about to show you next. And that's what most people go with. If you don't mind spending 20 minutes, 30 minutes to set up a tent, this is the one I would recommend going with. It's a super deluxe tent for camping. People love it. So let me show you what most people get though. This here is the 10 by 10, and it's a 6-person tent. The 10 by 10 and the 10 by 14 are very close. We don't sell much more of one than the other. It just depends on how many people you want to camp. These ones come, let me show you, these ones come in 3 different models. This is a 2-person sleeping bag here. So to give you an idea of how much room there is, you really can fit 6 people in here. So this is a 2-person here. There's room down here. If you've got kiddos, if you've got pets, you can fit even more possibly, or less, depending on your gear. The Flexbow tents come in 3 different models. There's a basic model, and the basic model has the same tent body, except there's no side windows, and this door right here isn't a window, it's just a door. And the door that the camera is looking through right now is also just a door, it's not a window. So the basic model has 2 windows. The deluxe model has 4 windows, 2 in the front, 2 in the back. And then this is the Deluxe VX, the Super Deluxe, and it has 6 windows, which means it has these triangular windows on the side. So again, there's some other differences as well. The main differences are the number of windows, 2 versus 4 versus 6. Let me tell you a few of the other differences. The basic model, again, this is the Super Deluxe VX. The basic model doesn't have this gear loft. It doesn't have this bag organizer right here. And it doesn't have this pocket organizer that's right here. It has 2 windows. It'd be this one here, and it'd be this one here. These tents breathe really well. So my recommendation, if you're on a pretty tight budget, I think the basic model is the way to go. If you're a scout group, a Boy Scout, Girl Scout, youth camps, places like that, a camping rental company, it can be nice to take out all the bells and whistles, because then there's less that they can destroy. I've been a scout leader, and the scouts, as much as I love them, several of them are my boys, have figured out ways to destroy things like this gear loft. You know, someone hangs from it and something, the clip breaks or whatever. So the deluxe model, there is one other difference I want to tell you about. The deluxe model has, it doesn't have these side windows. This is the deluxe, super deluxe VX, this one. The deluxe model is the same as everything you see right now, except it's missing this triangular window on this side and that side. Instead of that triangular window, it has one of those airflow vents right here. And the airflow vent does have its uses. It doesn't allow as much ventilation, but it does definitely have its functions. If you're getting rained on, a lot of people, a common question that I've gotten over the years are, if I get this deluxe VX model, is it going to, with the extra zippers, am I going to get some more, am I going to get water in here? Am I more susceptible to it leaking water? And the answer is emphatically no. You're not going to get any more water. You can see that it's like 3 inches here between the zipper and the window itself. So you're not going to get any water in here. It zips up. That flap right there, if water were to hit the zipper, I mean, it's impossible. It just can't hit it. So we don't get any complaints of water in any of the tents, including the VX. So interesting thing is if it is lightly raining, and these windows were open, if it were lightly raining right now, you would notice that the water doesn't come through these windows. It simply beads down. If it's raining heavily, that's a different story. It will start to leak through. So, awesome tent. This is a really good family camping tent. Gives you plenty of space for extra totes. Put your firewood in here if it's raining. Your camp chairs, you can fit a cooler in. This is definitely one of our best sellers. Thanks for watching.